want to join up into the live, make sure you're following the rules on screen. Take a good look, everybody. Take a good look. Take a good look. Let's go to move on to that next guest, Bird. Okay, we got Bird loading up. Hi, Bird. Do you support Trump?
Hello, I got an opinion. Very important opinion. I've been waiting since yesterday, dog. Wait for 3 hours.
Do you support
Now I'm
Trump?
back. I think that Trump made us all forget about Earth.
Okay, goodbye. Band, moving on to the next guest. Here we go, you guys. Follow the rules. Let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, everyone. We got Slope53 connecting. If you happen to be one of the very first 2.5 thousand people tuning in and you support Trump, let me know down below. Hello, hello. Are you MAGA? No. Okay, goodbye. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone just be patient while we try to get him up here, everyone. Ooh. This person is interesting. Give us a minute to get the next guest loaded up in. Hi, how old are you?
Howdy.
It's a kid. Okay, I feel bad for that kid. They've been indoctrinated into some very terrible beliefs. All right, well, everyone, hey, for the first 3,000 people that are joining us, if you happen to be tuning in, I appreciate you for being here. We're going to have some good debates today, as per usual, as we do every day. However, right now, we just simply don't have any Trump supporters in here to talk to. So if you want to see some conversations, I'm going to have you do a couple things for me. First and foremost, if you could start spamming those likes, that would really help us send the stream out into that For You page to get more people in here. If you would help me by sharing out this stream with a handful of friends, by spamming that comment section, these are all tools that we could use to get the stream to boost out further on that For You page. Anymore, I don't know what it is. People just don't want to talk to me. In order for us to find a Trump supporter that's willing to have a chat, we at least have to have like 6, 7, or 8,000 people in here. And that's just crazy. It's crazy that that's how the cookies crumbled, but people just simply don't want to talk anymore. We're going to move on to our next guest. We got Ben connecting. If you are connecting, guys, make sure that you are at least 18 years old, MAGA, and an American. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? No, it's like a 3-year-old. That's like a 3-year-old. Yo, 6, 7? Okay. All right, listen. We're going to get that next guest connected to the live stream. Everyone just do be patient while we get that next guest connected. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. And please follow the rules. Oh my God. Welcome in. Nope. Banned. Moving on to the next guest, guys. I apologize that nobody wants to chat. Listen, they're scared. If you want me to be honest, okay, they're scared. They're very, very scared. I don't know what to tell you. Like the Trump supporters, they don't want to talk. So if you happen to be one of the 4,000 people in here and you are down to talk, hop in that queue. We're looking for American adults that support Trump as president. Those are the rules. I thought we already all knew them. Apparently not. Let's go to move on to that next guest, James. Here we go, everyone. We got James connecting. Hey, James, do you support Trump? No? Banned. Bye, James. Moving on to the next guest. We got Foley connecting. Here we go, guys. Make sure that you're following the rules if you want to join. You just got to be an American adult that's at least 18 that supports Trump, as per usual. Hi, are you MAGA?
Yes.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 22.
You're 22? What year were you born in?
I was born in Bye.
Okay. They were not 22. All right, guys. You know what's next. Moving on. Here we go. The Trump supporters are not here. Just kidding. They are. They're just sitting in silence. Hey, how about this? If you want to come up and have a chat, put a MAGA with your age in the comment section. We're going to disregard the queue and we're going to go and we're going to pull people up specifically from that comment section. Because right now, the Trump supporters, I don't know what's going on with y'all. You guys are just fucking silent. You guys are silent. You guys are silent. So scared. So scared. Dude, there's literally no MAGAs in the comments. Guys, look at the comment section. I seriously don't see one person spamming MAGA. Oh my God. I'm not trolling. There's not one person in the comment section that's typed a MAGA in the last... How long? Bro. Dude. This is craziness, guys. I don't know what to do. Like, we have 5.2 thousand people in here, and there is not a single Trump supporter that wants to chat. Crazy work, everybody. Let's go to move on to the next guest. I'm going to put those rules back up on the live stream. Only join if you're 18 plus American Maga and ready to debate. Let's go to get that next conversation going on right now. I apologize that it's taken so long to find our first guest. I think I've just kind of beaten all the Trump supporters in debates. They don't want to chat anymore. They're pretty terrified of me. So, yeah, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Age?
6'7".
Okay, 8'9". Get the fuck out of here. Moving on. Let's go to get the next guest travel connected into the stream. Here we go, everybody. There's nobody that wants to debate. Hi.
Social democracy forever.
No clue what you just said. Do you support Trump?
Social democracy forever.
Okay, so not MAGA, so banned. Moving on to the next guest. Take a good look at the rules in the middle of the phone screen, please. They're right there in front of your face. Only join if you're 18 plus American MAGA.
I hope your whole family gets cancer and your family die. Nick.
Banned. Okay, moving on to the next guest. Here we go. We got Nick's connecting into the stream. Here we go. Hop in that queue if you support Trump, everyone. Do be patient. We got Nick's loading in. Phenomenal. Here we go, guys. So it doesn't look like Nick's is connecting, so we're going to go to ban them. We got Lava connecting. Here we go, everybody. Try to give us a minute to find a Trump supporter that isn't just, completely deranged. Hi, Emily. Are you MAGA?
Yes, like 75%, kind of.
Okay.
I'm more. I can be persuaded.
And how old are you?
I'm 24.
Perfect, Emily. I'm going to go ahead and just put you on mute for a second here while I start the live stream over on YouTube. I really appreciate you for being here, and thank you so much for being willing to come up here and debate. Just give me a second here. I'm actually going to blow my nose before I start the stream on YouTube. Give me 1 second, you guys. Okay, nose is blown. We're starting the live stream over on YouTube. For the 8,000 people hanging out with us at TikTok, give us a minute. Here we go. Hi, welcome in to everybody tuning in on that YouTube live stream. It is so good to have you in here in the stream with us for the day. If you haven't been here before, let me tell you what we do here. We basically talk to Trump supporters. We try to change their mind as well as the minds of many of those listening. And we'll do this until we rage quit, which typically happens at around that 4 to 5 hour mark. Today, I'm sensing that it is going to occur a little bit earlier than that, as I'm pretty tired on this great afternoon. But we already have our very first Trump supporter of the day already loaded in. So I'm going to go ahead and invite Emily to unmute. That's our Trump supporter. And Emily, take it away. Why the hell do you support Trump as president?
I supported him for the AB purposes and for the deportation.
Oh, okay. All right. Where do you want to start?
Probably the deportation. Like, how do you feel about, like, why should I not support that?
Yeah, because it yields literally no positive outcomes for the country. Like when we sit down and we look at how it impacts the country, we see it impacts the country very negatively, like by reducing our GDP by 1.1 trill through 1.7 trill per year, by, removing 8.3 million of our laborers, reducing our producers' productive capacities, while also making them produce less since they're selling less, as we're removing 11 million of our consumers. And it costs, $2 trillion to get done over the course of the next 10 years. Those are all very negative outcomes. What are the positive outcomes of mass deportation?
Well, I didn't know it done all that. I thought the positive things were because, there's a lot of the criminal aspect of it. Because a lot of, what I read, which I could read, I'd be reading the wrong article, but what I read is that a lot of illegal criminals are over here causing problems.
Really? What percent of total violent crimes do undocumented immigrants commit in this country?
I have no idea. You'll have to.
I got you, 1%. You know that American men commit 90? Right? And then also, when we look at the 1% of violent crimes that undocumented immigrants do commit, they are 2.5 times less likely to commit one of those violent crimes than a natural U.S.-born citizen based on statistics alone. They're actually disproportionately more likely to stay away from crime once they're in the country compared to natural U.S.-born citizens. And the cherry on top is I could definitely name an American man that hasn't, stayed away from crime, somebody that's been found guilty of not 1, not 2, but 34 felonies and held liable for rape, and that would be Trump, the president you voted to have in the Oval Office.
So I thought that he didn't get convicted.
Yep, he was convicted of 34 felonies.
Oh, see, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So where do we go from here, Emily? Do you want to respond to a handful of my thoughts there?
Well, I mean, a lot of things that I'm hearing I don't really like or agree with. But like I said, I'm like 50-50. I've voted Democrat before. I've also voted Republican. So like I'm just trying to figure out why everybody doesn't like Trump because I don't really follow too much. I've been just doing research here lately. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I gave you a bunch of really good reasons to not support mass deportation. It really hurts our country's economy. It really destabilizes American industries, which is obviously placing America last. You know, you tell us that you care about manufacturing and whatnot. That's something that Donald Trump ran on. Mass deportation destroys American manufacturing. And then even about crime, undocumented immigrants are just significantly less likely to commit crimes once they're in the country. But I just don't really believe that you care too much about crime because you put a criminal in the Oval Office. And those are my general thoughts around mass deportation. You told me it's something you support, so if you want to respond to any of my points there, that'd be fine. Or if you just want to make a new argument for why it's a good thing, that's also fine.
Well, now that I see that it's only like 1%, like now that like I said, I've been reading articles here lately, trying to educate myself a little better into it, as I do other lives as well. So I'm trying to figure out which way I should lean more to.
Okay, and then you also said that you supported Trump because of abortion, right?
Well, yeah, the AB because Kamala, I can't say her name. Kamala, yeah, Kamala was all for AB. I'm like pro-life with exceptions, medical exceptions.
Okay, so you think that it should be banned in elective circumstances. Why is that?
Because I don't think that a woman should be able to go out, have sex, and then because of her bad choice, be able to go to a clinic and unalive her child because she thinks she can't do this and her world's over.
Okay, so basically, I'm going to have to mute you while I'm talking here because you have quite a loud noise in the background. Basically, the reduction of your argument is that you think that women that engage in sex are super irresponsible. It was a bad choice to engage in sex if they didn't want to have a kid. So we should punish them by forcing them to have a kid. And then we should punish the kid by forcing them to have a parent that doesn't want them. You know, this is why we see in pro-life areas, we have higher levels of poverty, lower levels of employment, lower levels of pay, lower qualities of lives, because you're basically just setting up our future for failure. You're shifting the family dynamic away from adults that are well off, that desire to have children, that want to start a family, into forcing 18, 19, and 20-year-old men and women into being parents without their consent, against their will, thereby also forcing unwanted children into unready households. It is seriously unfair to everyone. And it's all because you uphold different values in the context of romance, intimacy, and sex than many American adults, not just women, men and women, that don't see sex as serving the only purpose of reproduction.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I feel like that adoption's always an option too. So like these people who can't take care or do something, there's I think there was like the last time I looked, it was like 1.2 million people on a waiting list for adoption. So if you can't do something, why not just give it to a loving family that can? And you can have these people vetted and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's incredibly dystopian and scary to suggest that we should be forcing women to use their bodies as incubators against their will to create children for families that want one. I think that's incredibly dystopian. That's not a world that I'd want to live in. That's not a world I think you should want to live in either. And then on the flip side of that coin, you told us that that adoption is always an option. So adoption is an alternative towards raising a kid. It's not an alternative for pregnancy in of itself. And I don't know why so many people on the right, so many pro-lifers seem to forget that women that get abortions do it not just because they don't want to raise a child, but also because they don't have to be forced to endure pregnancy and go through the mental and physical trauma and turmoil plus giving birth. I mean, it seems really self-evident to me.
So would you say they go through a mental issue after the process of an AB? Because either way you go there, you're going to have emotional turmoil.
Oh, okay. So now if you're saying that we should ban it because of potential emotional turmoil, are you basically saying that you know better than every other woman and you should be able to make their decisions for them?
No, that's not what I said. I just said that.
So then maybe we
there's
shouldn't
emotional
suggest that
turmoil.
because that is what you're suggesting. Because when you say that you think that it's possible that abortion will yield some emotional turmoil for some people in some circumstances, and it'd be better for them to just simply go through the pregnancy and give birth and raise that kid, you're basically saying that you know better than them, and you think you should be able to make that decision for them legally and force them to abide by your will and your suppositions. And it's funny because this just once again definitely demonstrates my point, to be clear, that it's not really about the child, it's about the woman. Your argument is all about the woman, saying that the woman is going to be worse off if she gets an abortion, so you're going to force her into doing something else.
I didn't say she would be worse. Now you're putting words in my mouth. I simply stated, I said that there's emotional turmoil on either side that you go.
Okay, one second. Everybody in my chat spamming 4th repost. What is your 4th repost? BRB gonna sneak into Mexico illegally, get welfare benefits, free healthcare from their government, wave the American flag, burn the Mexican flag, throw rocks at cops, burn vehicles, and then say the Mexican flag is a fascist for trying to stop me. Wow. Okay. So those are definitely some thoughts on undocumented immigrants there. So point number 1, you said get welfare benefits and free healthcare from their government. In response to point number 1, undocumented immigrants actually can't claim any federal benefits, yet they pay $100 billion per year in taxes. They're economic providers. They put more into the economy than they take out. Your second point was wave the American flag and burn the Mexican flag. So now you're apparently trying to criticize some individuals for exercising their right to free speech. That is a protected activity under the First Amendment per a ruling from SCOTUS in the 70s. It's funny because people on the right like to scream and shout about how bad the left is for free speech, but look at you now. But once again, I mean, I don't think that you'd have any evidence to suggest that undocumented immigrants are just burning the flags because they hate the country. It's probably more so a demonstration against the leadership of the country that is illegally deporting immigrants to be beaten and tortured and starved for 3 weeks in Secot in El Salvador, like Abrigo Garcia. And then once again, you follow that point up by saying they throw rocks at cops, burn vehicles, etc., etc. I thought we already went over this point. All American citizens are significantly more likely to commit crimes compared to undocumented immigrants, 2.5 times more likely to commit violent crimes, and 3 to 3.5 times more likely to commit property and petty crimes. So all important points there for consideration. Just kind of describing how your last repost there is purely propaganda.
My last repost, what I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I read it and then I debunked it because everybody in the chat has been talking about the 4th repost. I'll read it again. Your 4th repost says, BRB, I'm going to illegally sneak into Mexico, get welfare benefits and free healthcare from their government, wave the American flag, burn the Mexican flag, burn Mexican cops, burn
I didn't
vehicles.
post that.
What's that?
I did not post that.
You reposted it.
What do you... I don't even know what a repost is. Like,
You could like reshare something on your page.
oh, you're talking about like on my actual page? No, that's a TikTok live that people were talking on my live.
I don't even think she knows what we're talking about here. No, it's like, so you know how there's like posts that will show up on your For You page? You could like then repost those and they show up on your account.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what one you're talking about. I'm sorry. That's why I was like, I'm confused.
Okay. Well, I guess if you could respond to my points on abortion, maybe after that we could go over more of those points specifically.
Well, I just feel like we're going to disagree completely on the abortion thing, which is okay. That's fine with
So why do
me
you think
because
it's wrong to kill the fetus?
because that's a child. You know, that's a whole.
It's a child.
That's a whole nother. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's a baby that you're just going to unalive because you don't want it.
Okay, so you're saying that it's wrong to kill the fetus because it's wrong.
I mean, yeah, they got heartbeats. They've got like fillings in there, like all this stuff. I mean, yeah. Have you not watched the process of an AB? Like,
So if you're using quote unquote feelings to determine the wrongness of abortion, well, feelings are always predicated on subjective experiences, a sense of sentience and or consciousness. To self-actualize those feelings is to have a subjective experience. Now, scientists tell us that subjective experiences can only begin to occur at low levels between 20 and 24 weeks due to thymocortical connections. So if that is your standard, and your standard would be necessarily if that's your standard, and your standard can only occur if they're sentient, and sentience can only occur at 20 through 24 weeks, this just means that you don't think that abortion is wrong before 20 through 24 weeks, making you pro-choice.
Oh, no. I don't think you should be able to do it, period, even if you find out at 5 weeks.
Okay, so then why did you tell me that it's wrong because it has a heart and feelings, even though you think it's wrong if it doesn't have a heart or feelings?
A woman doesn't find out until she's pregnant until like 4 to 5 weeks. At that point, it already has a heartbeat.
Actually, a heartbeat occurs around 7, but it doesn't matter because you already told us you would still think it would be wrong at like 2 or 3 weeks.
It is at 5 weeks. I could hear my child's heartbeat at 5 weeks. You can see it on the ultrasound and everything. So it occurs at 5 weeks, and most women do not find out till they're 4 to 6.
So do you think that killing it would be wrong at like 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think anytime if it's for elective reasons.
So then I was right. So the heartbeat and the feelings don't matter. So then why is it fucking wrong?
Heartbeat does matter. At that point, it's got life in it. It's a life that you're just going to unalive because you don't want to take care of it.
My friend, you told me it was wrong before it has a heartbeat, meaning the heartbeat is not relevant to determining why you think it is wrong.
Nobody finds out between 1 to 3 weeks.
It doesn't matter because you think it'd be wrong to kill it at that point. We're just simply doing an observation on why you think the action of killing a fetus is wrong. The heartbeat is not relevant to why you think it is wrong because you still would think that it's wrong before it has a heartbeat.
So do you think that the child, well, I will say fetus, we'll do it like you're saying, fetus. If you think do you think the fetus has 2 like chromosomes to making itself up? Does it have its own DNA at 6 weeks?
It has its own DNA at the moment of conception.
Exactly. So how come that we can unalive DNA, which is what we're made of, because we just want to.
So you're asking me why it's wrong to kill unicellular organisms? Or are you asking me why I think it's okay to kill unicellular organisms? Well, I mean, I think that we very frequently kill unicellular organisms. I want to brush my teeth, and in the process, I kill billions of unicellular organisms.
A fetus is not an organism. It's a child.
It's not an organism. It's a child. Ma'am, what is an organism?
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you say that again? I've got a child, so if I mute, it's because she's being loud and I'm not trying to disturb.
So I want to be clear here. You're saying that it's a child. Okay, well, I want to show you a picture of what you are calling a child, just to be clear that we're talking about the same thing here. For everybody in the meantime over on TikTok, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen, sharing out this live, etc. Y'all already know it. Give me a second here, ma'am. Give me a second here. I'm pulling up a picture. Quite frankly, I am pulling up a picture right now.
No, if I was on Google, guys, my picture would be gone.
Okay, everyone just be patient. Do be patient in the meantime while I'm trying to pull up a picture. You guys. Take it a while. Looking for
anyway,
a
I mean,
zygote.
if you want to debate someone else, that's perfectly fine. I don't think we're ever
I want to debate you. Okay. So I just want to be clear. You think that this is a child?
Hold on. The gifts, it keeps. Can you move it to like the right of your screen? Yeah, there you go.
You think that that's a child?
What is that?
It's a zygote.
And when does that occur? What is that like?
This is after the moment of conception. It's a zygote. It's the first stage of human development.
Okay, so yeah, technically it's gonna develop into a child, and it's on,
But is this a child right here? Is this a child right now already?
The creation of one.
So is it or is it not?
Technically, yes.
Okay, so I deceived you. This is bacteria that grows in your gut. Do you typically get deceived into telling people that you think bacteria that grows in your gut are children? That's never happened to me before.
I don't know what it
That's never happened.
I don't know what
I've never been. So wait, so you're telling me that you don't know what a child looks like?
Well, yeah, but like I said again.
Wait. If you know what a child
won't
looks
find out
like,
till
then you would have
1
known
to
that's
6
not a
weeks.
child, regardless of what I told you.
Well, you said that you told me it was the beginning of the thing, so I'm going off of what you said.
I know
so
I
if you're
deceived you, but so the question
Well,
is, do you
that's fine,
typically
yeah,
do you typically get
you did-
deceived into calling gut bacteria children?
Well, no, because no one's ever showed me a picture and tried to say it was a zygote. So I thought you were being serious, but if you wanted to lie, that's cool. You know.
Well, do you
I
just
don't know what
understand? Do you just understand how that on
1 to
its own is a little insane? Like getting deceived into calling gut bacteria a child. I don't think anybody would ever be able to deceive me into calling the bacteria that grows in my intestine a child. What about the people watching? Would you guys ever be able to get deceived into calling the bacteria that grows in your intestine a child? I don't know. It's I don't know if that could ever happen to me. Why is it happening to you?
Well, I don't know, because I typically try to give everyone a benefit of the doubt when they have something coming out of their mouth.
Right. So I mean, I don't really know where to go from here because I'm gonna be honest. Like your pro-life
Yeah,
argument.
I don't think.
Not one
like
second,
I
Emily.
said,
Just allow me to talk. Your pro-life argument is not only incredibly baseless, but it's just like purely predicated on like emotions. Like you have an incredibly emotional position. You haven't like given me an argument. You haven't given me a reason why it's wrong to kill the fetus. We tried to explore your reason. You literally couldn't give me more than a sentence. And it's just reduced down to you think it's wrong because you think it's wrong. And at the end of the day, you think that you could use such a circular position to demonstrate why it is okay to legally restrict women's access to health care. I just simply ask you, well, do you have any critique of the people in American history that have used incredibly baseless and circular positions in order to justify other forms of infringement upon people's rights? If you're saying it's wrong because it's wrong, therefore we should be able to restrict women's access, what's the logical distinction between this and a white supremacist saying a black individual going into a quote-unquote white-owned business is wrong because it's wrong, therefore we should restrict their access? There's no logical distinction. You're both just operating off of what you think and how you feel. I think it's time to care about facts, rationale, and logic, and I just simply don't see any logical way to demonstrate why we should restrict women and girls' access to abortion. Now, if you disagree with me, that's fine. Just give me an argument instead of your emotions.
It's probably more moral because I really like. It's probably morally because it's morally just not okay. It's just not okay.
Right, but you have to give an
like
argument for things when you think they're morally wrong. You can't just say
Okay,
something's
so-
morally wrong. You have to give an argument.
Well, okay,
for
so
it.
the reason that I feel like it's morally wrong is because it's a child. I feel as if it's a child.
Wait. That's not an argument though, because define child.
I don't know a child.
Okay, so basically you define child as I don't know. So you're saying I think it's morally wrong because I don't know.
No, I think it's morally wrong because it's a baby who's going to come into this world, and you should not be allowed to unallow.
Now define baby.
Okay, so a baby is a baby.
A baby's a baby. You can't use the term in the definition.
Okay, so you want the actual definition of a baby?
Yes, I want you to define baby. Yes.
Okay.
Holy shit. Oh my goodness. While she's looking for that, Keegan, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo, saying listening to you while I do yard work, keep cooking up. I appreciate you.
Human offspring.
Okay, so you think it's wrong to kill it because it's human?
It's a human offspring.
Okay, so do you just always think it's wrong to kill humans?
Yeah, can I unalive somebody and not get in trouble for it?
So do you think that when doctors pull the plugs on brain dead patients in the hospital that they're committing murder because they're unaliving a human?
No, like I said, medical exemptions. Like medical is different than just going out and unaliving a child because you was a hoe and you didn't do what you were supposed to.
Right, and then see, it just goes right back to the internalized misogyny. I'm going to have really fun just demonstrating how STUPID that last position was. You're telling us that it's okay for a doctor to kill a brain dead patient because it's a medical exemption as they're a medical health professional. So, by the way, all that this tells me is that it's okay for women to get abortions abortions because doctors perform abortions under your view, making them a medical exemption as it's performed by a medical health provider. And by the way, so you just called women hoes that engage in intercourse and get pregnant, that don't want to be pregnant. So let me ask you this question. How many children have you had?
I have one, and I'm married.
And how many times have you engaged in intercourse?
Within my marriage, so many times.
How about outside of your marriage?
About 5.
Really? So you're telling me that you've had intercourse substantially more than you've had a child. This means that you've had intercourse when you didn't plan to have a child. Does this mean that you're a hoe in accordance with your own view?
Technically, I mean, that was my hoe phase, yeah.
Dude, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Even with even with your husband. Even with your husband. Like even inside of your marriage. Okay, like dude, go on. This is ridiculous.
And if
even
I got
even
pregnant,
inside of
I
your
would take
marriage,
on my
you have
responsibility.
had intercourse outside of an attempt to plan to have a child because you have one child. You've had intercourse many more times than you've had a child. In accordance with your definition, because you've had intercourse with your husband on many more scenarios than when you were attempting to have a child, does this make you an HOE?
No.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that women can engage in intercourse without an intention of reproduction, without being an HOE? So then how come you just tried to say any woman that does engage in intercourse without an intention to reproduce and then gets pregnant is an HOE?
You got a point, yeah. You got a point.
So where do we go from here, Emily?
I don't know. I don't think we'll agree.
Me neither. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Isaiah, thank you so much for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you for the 10. Isaiah says, you're my favorite person, Dean. Ra, I love you. I love you too, Isaiah. Thank you for being here today. I hope that you enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much for the contribution as well. Thank you so much for the support. Let's see who else here. I'd also like to quickly thank Bree for the $20 over on Venmo. Bree says, had an abortion at 6 weeks. It resulted in way less emotional turmoil than the abortion itself. The abortion resulted in relief. I couldn't afford another child. Yeah, no, absolutely, Bree. There's so many circumstances of women getting abortions and saving themselves emotional turmoil. And she was rejecting that early on in her argument, which made no goddamn sense. As well as Hazel, thank you for the $10, is saying, asking if Kirk is still refusing to debate me. Yep, he sure is. Thank you for the 10. Welcome in. What is going on? Bobby, go ahead and unmute that mic for me, man. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, 100%. He's doing a great job.
No, he's doing a terrible job. Boo, Bobby, you suck.
On what metrics is he doing a terrible job?
For sure, GDP growth, the annualized rate of growth today is 1.2% according to the feds. Meanwhile, last year is 2.5%. We also see in the first quarter of this year, GDP went down. In the second quarter of this year, 52% of companies in the S&P 500 reported lower profit margins. Another metric that we see is doing a terrible job is that for the last 2.5 years under Biden, we had an exploding level of investment into American manufacturing. Ever since Donald Trump got inaugurated, it's gone down. Another way that he's had a terrible job is once again from what the Fed reported 2 days ago when they told us that his tariffs are inflationary. Another metric that would demonstrate he's been doing a terrible job
None of
is
these are
maybe
backed
some
up
of
by
his...
facts.
What's that?
None of these are backed up by facts. Last month, they said GDP growth was going to be 3.4% for the year. Tariffs are bringing in billions of dollars.
Can you show
Over
me
10
that?
years, the partisan CBO even said it's going to bring in $4 trillion.
No, to your first
Now
point, saying that last month the Fed said the annualized rate of growth for the GDP this year would be 3.4%. Can you show me that?
Yeah. I got to go to my computer.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm just interested. Because if you could demonstrate that a month ago they said that the annualized level of growth for our economy would be 3.4%, and now today they're saying that the annualized rate of growth for the economy would be 1.2%, seemingly Donald Trump has really fucked things up in the last 30 days.
And they also didn't say, they keep saying inflation may come after tariffs,
Well,
but
don't pivot.
we haven't seen that
Don't
yet through
pivot.
the CPI.
I don't know why you're pivoting.
It takes a look up.
Yeah, but no, please show me that where the Federal Reserve said 30 days ago that the annualized rate of growth of the economy would be that percent. Yo, first and foremost, Emily, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. Thank you so much. Saying that she's giving us Emily's a bad name. Keep cooking, Dean. Thank you for the love, Emily, as well as Wayne. Oh my gosh, man. Wayne, thank you so much for the love over on Venmo. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness Christ. Wayne said, I'll make sure. I won't share too many specifics, but Wayne, thank you so much for your kindness, man. That is so incredibly kind of you. If everybody could please show some love to Wayne down below in that comment section. Thank you so much, man. Show some love to Wayne down below, you guys. Let's get a couple thousand Wayne W's down below in that chat. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you, Wayne, dude. We love Wayne here. Wayne is a really awesome guy. Wayne is a really awesome guy. Thank you so much, Wayne.
So the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis has reported that the real GDP rose to a 3.0% annual rate, rebounding after a sharp contraction of Q1. And so we're looking at kind of just the quarters now because of how how uncertain the Fed is about tariffs. And we're seeing from them 3.0%. We're seeing from the Fed, projected 1.4, Philly survey of the Fed 1.7, Atlanta Fed 2.3.
Okay, so it doesn't look like I was wrong. I gave you the data from the Feds, and you're telling me that there's data from other institutions that would report differently.
Yes, and we see that a lot of times with Trump. It's always a might be in the future and that the sky's falling. And then every time this has happened in the past, Trump turns out to be pretty spot on what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. We see this with he's going to take away all our AB rights. He's a constitutional crisis every week.
He is a constitutional crisis.
The shelves.
Wait, everything that you just said was true. Point number one, he's going to take away abortion rights. Yeah, he did. In 10 of our states, victims of rape can't even access abortion. Right now, 66 million American women and girls don't have access to elective abortions in 28 of our states. Your second point, which I actually find to be the most entertaining of a conversation, saying that, he's a constitutional crisis. He fucking is. He's been passing executive orders that explicitly violate the Constitution. On day one, he passed executive order number 14160, which attempted to take birthright citizenship away from the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil. That was unconstitutional. And he's still pushing for getting it to be legal. He's still pushing it for judges to ignore it. He's still pushing for SCOTUS to ignore it. How can you support him when he absolutely is attempting to take power away from Congress to change the Constitution, to take power away from SCOTUS to interpret the Constitution, to put that power into his own hands to amend it to his liking, such as he did with the executive order I just referenced?
Because the executive orders are a tool given by the Constitution. SCOTUS is now it's on the docket for birthright citizenship to be argued. And I think it probably over the fall session or whatever. So, I mean, he's following the law. They're allowed executive orders.
They're not allowed to sign executive orders into law that are unconstitutional.
Then they're going to be argued in the courts, and he's winning a lot of the activist judges. It's
already been argued in the court. There's not an argument that executive order is constitutional. Give me one.
Executive order, birthright citizenship.
Yeah, give me an argument that somehow the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil are not entitled to birthright citizenship. There's not one.
There absolutely is one.
So then what is it?
Like, you want a court case or you want the court case name?
There's actually not a court case to demonstrate that it's constitutional to take birthright citizenship away from the children of undocumented immigrants. So I don't know why you'd suggest that. I was more so just asking for a legal argument. But I mean, you're offering me a court case to demonstrate that it's legal. Okay, give it to me. There's not one.
It's going to take a second.
I could save you the time. There's not one. Every single time we've talked about the 14th Amendment inside of a courtroom, they've always concluded that either one, the children of undocumented immigrants are entitled to the protections under the 14th by proxy of their definitions, or two, they're explicitly entitled to protections under the 14th Amendment per decisions of SCOTUS rulings such as Plyer v. Doe in 1982, where they determined that undocumented immigrants do have access to the Equal Protections Clause of the 14th, given that they are subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. law, meaning by proxy they'd also have access to the protections offered under the first section of the 14th Amendment, which would be birthright citizenship.
I'm happy you know the law so much. We wish you were Trump supporters, but, it is what it is. I'm still trying to look up this court case. Birthrights. There was multiple news stories about how this is going to be challenged at the Supreme Court in the next few months.
There's no challenge. Like, there's just no challenge. So, while you're looking that up, I'll read you. I'll read you the birthright citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment. Let's go ahead and read this together. Here we go. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. Are the children of undocumented immigrants persons? Yeah. Are they born on American soil? Well, that was implied. So therefore, they're entitled to citizenship. It's just, it's what it says, man. There's no legal argument, because a legal argument would contradict the clear text of the Constitution. That's why it's explicitly and clearly unconstitutional. Common sense, man. I like to talk about common sense so much, but then when something is actually commonsensical, you deny it.
Yeah, but the Constitution's open to interpretation, and that's what the Supreme Court's going to do in Trump v. Casa, and kind of what they're determining right now. Can we think of like other countries as examples?
It's already been interpreted. So you're saying that it's open to interpretation. The one part of the 14th Amendment that could be interpreted to possibly mean that the children of undocumented immigrants don't have birthright citizenship is going to be the subject to the jurisdiction thereof notion.
Right.
Because you're only subject to citizenship if you're born in the soil, and you're subject to the jurisdiction thereof. But in the 19th century, and the United States versus Juan Kemart, they explicitly defined that there are only a few categories of individuals that are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, right? Foreign diplomats, because the laws literally don't apply to them. Foreign militant invading forces, like another country's military. Well, that's not realistic. We don't see that often. And then the third category was indigenous Americans, but of course that was then later updated with federal law. So we know that undocumented immigrants and their children don't fall into any of those three categories that were explicitly set forth in the U.S. versus Juan Kemart case, meaning that we know that they're subject to the jurisdiction thereof, and that ruling was upheld in 1982, and once again I'll re-reference it, Plyer v. Doe, where the SCOTUS explicitly concluded that undocumented immigrants do have access to the Equal Protections Clause of the 14th, but in order to have access to the Equal Protections Clause of the 14th, you also have to be subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
Okay. But yeah, so it's still not defined if illegal should have birthright citizen. What other country allows people to just come in and be tourists, be like a birth tourist? That's wild.
It's not, I don't understand.
And it could game the system.
What kind of argument is this? So you're now saying that he wasn't trying to illegally circumvent Congress, the Constitution, and SCOTUS, because for whatever reason of no other country does it, then it's legal here.
He didn't.
I'm all over the place. But if you're curious, several actually. So birthright citizenship didn't start in America. Do you know where it started?
No, I do not.
England, right? It was common law of England. It was called jus soli. And jus soli meant if you were born on the king's soil, then you were one of his subjects. Now, when we had people go from England to America and set up the colonies, they adopted the same common law of jus soli, where if you're born on the soil, you're a citizen. Now, eventually, that was challenged in the Dred Scott case, where we had a very racist Scottish judge try to deny birthright citizenship to enslaved individuals. So then they codified it into the 14th Amendment, marking the end of the Civil War.
Right. Hey, and by the way, they didn't determine whether that executive order was unconstitutional. They didn't rule on that yet.
I never said they did. I said that federal courts determined it's unconstitutional, and I said that there's no legal argument determined that it is constitutional, and that prior rulings from SCOTUS have already given us a very clear, evident, and necessary interpretation that it is unconstitutional today in accordance with rulings that have already been made.
They're still allowing that executive order to be in effect, though.
Well, they allowed it to be in effect in some part of the countries by making a ruling that nationwide injunctions are illegal, not that his executive order was legal. And once again, this tells us nothing about the legality of the EO.
And so eventually they're going to have to argue the legality of this EO in another case.
So do you think that SCOTUS has to argue that it's illegal or illegal in order for it to be legal or illegal?
I think the president's representatives with the other side's representatives will argue in front of the Supreme Court, yeah.
Okay, so you're already mistaken. We know that it's illegal because of the rulings of the federal judges, and we know that it's illegal because of the rulings that SCOTUS
certain
has
Democrat
already made.
judges. Certain Democratic judges are taking that
It's
policy.
not just democratic, it's just common sense. Once again, I've asked you to describe a legal argument that it's legal, and you haven't been able to give it to me because there's none.
I mean, they're making it right now.
Okay, what is it? What is the legal argument that undocumented immigrants and their children born on American soil don't have birthright citizenship per the 14th?
Because the jurisdiction, the jurisdiction thereof, or that clause,
Yeah, what does that mean?
subject to the laws in the country, basically.
Okay, undocumented immigrants are subject to the laws of the country. That's what makes it legally
Yeah, but they're-
allowed
but
for
they're
them to be
breaking-
deported.
Yeah, but they're breaking laws to get into this country too, and they don't have as much rights as
You just said
as
that they
free
just broke the
slaves
law, meaning
or
you're subject to the.
diplomats.
You could only break the law if you're subject to the law. Like for
No,
instance,
you can-
like for instance, can we agree that like foreign diplomats are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof? That's because they can't like break most laws. It's because they're not subject to the laws. In order for you to be able to break a law, you have to be subject to it first.
It's a vague clause that we need better interpretation from the Supreme Court in it to rule
False.
on. I
It's
think
actually
that's
not
what-
vague at all. They made it explicitly
To your
clear what it meant.
interpretation,
And
sure.
no, to the interpretation of SCOTUS in the U.S. versus Juan Kmart case of 1892.
Why didn't the Supreme Court strike down this case then?
Probably because they've been putting off since they don't want to make a ruling that's so opposed to the Trump administration. You could like think through like multiple reasons. Not to mention that SCOTUS doesn't make rulings on a lot of stuff. Like for instance, they were formally asked to make a ruling on the legality or lack thereof of gay marriage in accordance with the Constitution. Are you saying because they haven't made a ruling on that the legality of gay marriage is vague? No, it's just because they just want to push it off or probably never do it at all, so they're not like upsetting a bunch of people. I don't know. I think that's an insufficient argument in demonstrating that what I say is true. Not to mention that once again, what subject to the jurisdiction thereof means is not vague at all. They explicitly define what that means in U.S. versus Juan Kmart of 1892.
Sometimes I am upset with the Supreme Court and how they don't rule all the way on Trump's side about defunding certain NIH, DEI grants, and things like that. They're really getting like Gorsuch is getting upset that the district courts aren't listening to the Supreme Court's rulings, and how Trump, once they form an injunction against him, Trump has gone to the Supreme Court and won the majority of his cases so far. We've seen in those injunctions as well.
So is your argument because he's won a majority of the cases so far that he's going to win this one too? You're still, I mean, that's a terrible legal
part of it,
defense,
part
man.
of
I
it.
don't know what to tell you. I've told you exactly why undocumented immigrants and their children born on American soil are subject to the jurisdiction thereof, do have a right to birthright citizenship. I've asked you to give a single clear argument that would demonstrate that they aren't. I've given you multiple clear arguments that demonstrates that they have, not just from federal courts and federal judges, but from SCOTUS and their case law already. It seems like you're losing bigly.
Yeah, illegals shouldn't have as many rights if they come here to gain birthright citizenship. I think that incentivizes terrible behavior, criminality, open borders.
You're already now like shifting the goalpost. I don't know what to tell you, man. Because remember, you were the one that posited it was not unconstitutional. I'm the one that
Right.
argued it
Yeah, and I was
is
right about that.
constitutional. You were not right about that.
The Supreme Court didn't overturn it as unconstitutional yet.
Okay.
What he's doing with his executive
Okay.
order.
Okay. So federal judges ruled that it was unconstitutional, and
Activist
SCOTUS
district
has-
judges ruled.
Okay, so you're saying that their rulings were wrong. Give me a
Yes.
clear argument that would describe how their rulings were wrong.
I haven't prepared this like it's my own legal case.
So then how do you know they're wrong? Because I told you how they're right.
Because common sense makes it.
Common sense. Oh, let's go. Yo, we reduced this guy down that came up here with the data, the statistics, the numbers, all the arguments. He was like wrapping in data from the feds about
I
GDP
could-
growth. And now we've reduced him all the way down to common sense. Come on, bro. You're better than this. You came up here prepared with stats about GDP growth. You came up here prepared with numbers and figures, which tells me you already know that just saying common sense isn't doing shit, little bro.
You're a good debater, and you know your legal arguments. One day maybe you'll be a Republican and come to the good side.
Well, I mean, you're not really giving me a compelling argument that I should be a Republican if you're just basically throwing out rulings on the constitutionality of the Trump administration as activist liberal rulings that are wrong with no reason why. That is a very unconvincing position if you want me to be on your side.
That's true. It would take me, like an hour, half hour to make like a decent legal argument and get some of the case law.
I swear to God, I'll bring you back up in 30 minutes to an hour if you want to go try to find one.
I probably just won't come back up. It was very nice talking to you, though. I appreciate your time.
Have a good rest of your day, but seriously, if you want to, I'll bring you back up. If you want to spend the next hour researching like an argument that somehow that executive order is legal, I will happily bring you back up once you're done with that research. I actually really enjoy talking about the 14th Amendment and the rights that it grants to whom. But let's go ahead and move on to the next guest, guys. Hop in that queue if you support Trump. I'll happily bring you up here. We got that next guest loaded in right now, guys. Going to put a Maga with your age down below if you do want to join. As well as, let's see here quickly. Arctic, thank you for the 14 Canadian dollars over on Super Chat. Thank you. Arctic, that is incredibly kind of you. Arctic said, I love this dude admitted at the start of this debate that people who actually know the law don't support Trump. He said, Dean, I'm glad you know so much about the law. I wish you supported Trump. Yeah. Most legal scholars are not a big fan of Trump. And the reasons why are pretty self-evident. Let's go ahead and move on to the next guest. Hop in that queue if you want to come up here and have a conversation with me about why you support Trump. We got that HVAC downloaded in. As well as you want to support, if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio. As well as Curtis, thank you for the $8 over on Venmo. Thank you, Curtis. That's very kind of you, man. Leah with a 2. Then Rowdy, thank you for the $10. Show some love to Rowdy down below. Rowdy says, glad somebody's speaking the truth. Thank you so much, man. As well as Misty with a 5 and Sophia with a 5. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, guys. You are awesome. Okay. All right. As well as Matthew, thank you so much for the $15 over on PayPal. Saying, Dean, can I blame Trump for the fact that I've spent $450 on Labubu's? Yes. Welcome in, Jason. Do you support Trump?
I do.
And how old are you? Well, you sound old enough. Jason, why the hell do you support Trump as president? He's a very bad president.
Well, he's my president, so, I have respect for whoever the leader of our country is. I do have a quick question for you, though.
Can I respond to your first little argument there about you should support the president just because they're the president?
Sure. I mean, so I just want you to be careful. Are you saying, I hope you're not voicing that our country should rebel against our president, but...
When you say rebel, do you just mean voice support against if they're doing bad things? And if so, we should definitely rebel against the president.
No, I just think that it's okay to criticize our president, but I think at the end of the day, we should respect him. It's all right to criticize who he is, but,
Oh, no. So, I mean, I don't know about you, man. I personally will never, respect a rapist. I'll personally never respect somebody that is boasted about perfect on kids. I'll never respect somebody that has fulfilled all 14 tenets of fascism. And it's
Like
funny because you expect us to respect him so much. But why don't you expect him to respect us so much?
Okay. Like I said, I don't respect him as a person. I respect his jurisdiction. I respect his position. He's in that position. Obviously, we can criticize his character. He doesn't have the best character.
Okay. Now it's the position. I respect the office of the presidency.
I said that from
that's
the
why.
beginning.
So I respect the office of the presidency, and that's actually one of the many reasons why I don't respect Trump, because he's putting quite the blemish on it.
Interesting. I do want to say something real quick, though. Your friend Parker owes me $50.
You the alien? Are you the aliens enemy? Are you the aliens immigrants guy?
I am indeed. So what are we gonna do about that, Dean? I just want to know in front of 9,000 people. What are we gonna do?
You said aliens.
Oh, did I? So do you want to play it? You want to play it right now? I think that'd be funny.
You said aliens. You did.
I think we both know I didn't.
You said aliens. Yes, you did.
Sad, 'cause that day I also donated to him. I also donated to him that day, and I was like, "Hey, look."
Okay, we're here to talk about. We're here.
Yeah, we'll talk about Trump.
We're here to talk about why you support Trump.
You're right, but I just want to say your friend is a real scammer, man. It's pretty sad. Because I've seen other guys make bets with him and pay him outright, and the one time he goes against him, he's all, But anyways, we'll let that go.
Wait. If you don't like people because they scam people, Hasn't Donald Trump been found guilty in like multiple fraud cases of like defrauding students at Trump University, like literally scamming them, or like how he like rug pulled his meme coin? The market cap dropped by like 57% overnight. He made $25 billion and his supporters lost billions.
You're right. I mean, I can't defend that Trump coin. Also, because I don't know that much about it, but from the little I do know, it's undefendable. So I'll concede on that part. Not that I ever argued on behalf of it, but I'll concede there. But I will say, so I guess let me talk on the premise of abortion. I respect this policy there. I respect him getting rid of Roe v. Wade and leaving it up to the states. So that's my position. I don't know if you want to critique that.
Yeah, sure. I completely disagree with the position. I don't think that human rights should be left up to the states, and I think that infringing upon a woman's access to abortion is a human rights violation.
Okay, so I mean, do you at least agree that there previously has been, I mean, so do you think something like that should just be easy to access? I really don't think.
Should it be easy to access abortion? Yeah, as easy as possible.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
That is insanity. You think it should be as easy as you think abortion should be as easy as buying a bag of chips from your local supermarket?
I think that all healthcare should be as easy to access as possible.
No. I'm getting rid of a fetus or a baby. You think that should be as easy as buying a bag of chips from your local supermarket? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, I wish it could be easier.
Wow. Okay. And so you don't think giving that sort of power to anyone, you don't see anything wrong with that? You don't see that potentially being abused at all?
When you say abused, what do you mean?
Well, let's say you meet a girl and at a bar and you guys, do whatever it is you do. A couple weeks later, she says, "Oh, I'm pregnant." And you're like, "Okay, well, I don't really know you. It was just a one-time thing. Let's just get rid of it." You think that, it's okay to just get rid of it?
Yeah, duh.
I think that's sick.
Why?
Because it's a potential life there.
It's a potential life?
Sure. Yeah,
So it's not a life yet? So you give...
Well, technically, I mean,
Wait.
the scientific definition is...
You said it's a potential life, meaning it's not a life yet.
Well, I'm going to go into my
position. So you want to give a non-life the right to life?
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm gonna go into my position. So, obviously, the scientific definition is life begins at conception.
So then it's not a potential life; it's an actual life.
Right, but then I've heard your position before that I believe you don't believe it's a life up until what 20-something weeks.
No, I think that life starts at the moment of conception. I just don't think it's a valuable life.
So what's the difference? So okay, so how do you value life then? So you don't think life did that position doesn't make sense. So you're saying okay, wait, I want to hear your position fully before I critique it.
Yeah, I don't think that it's our like species classification or DNA or genome that makes us morally valuable. I think it's our ability to possess to be a person, to possess like a psychosocial profile and to experience subjective experiences, to interact with the world around us. I think that's what makes us valuable.
You don't think
I think this is clear. If a child dies, I'm not crying because I lost a member of my species. I'm crying because we lost like a innocent life that was like learning more in their experiences and questioning the world around them and growing up. It's like not because of their DNA, their genome, or their species, right?
So you don't believe, you don't value someone that's brain dead.
Precisely. I don't think that somebody that's brain dead has the right to life.
Wow.
You don't either. Do you think that doctors that pull the plugs on brain dead patients?
How do you know?
Do you think that doctors that pull the plugs on brain dead patients are murderers?
No, because they're letting nature take its course. They're on the machinery for a reason. The machinery is what's keeping them alive. If they take them off the plug, they're letting nature take it.
I don't think that would be why it's not murder. If I have a pacemaker that keeps my heart beating, and somebody hacks into my pacemaker and shuts it off, my heart stops beating and I die. Are they a murderer? Because under your view, they wouldn't be a murderer. They'd just be letting nature take its course.
Motive behind it, of course, yeah. If the motive behind it is to intentionally, if they hack it without, illegally having any jurisdiction to have a say on it, then of course, yeah, that's murder, 100%.
So basically,
But if
at the end of the day,
you're
you're telling us that the distinction of what makes an act murder or not is if it's legal or illegal. So in a
that
state,
specific case.
in a state where abortion is legal, like Colorado, abortion's not murder under your view.
No, hold on. In the specific case of that brain dead patient,
So you're special
yes.
pleading.
Not necessarily, but you have to.
You said in this specific case, but in others no.
First of all, we are going to special plead because legally, yeah, they're two totally separate cases. So I'm not going to come. We're not going to, draw parallels between the two.
Well, I think that we can draw a parallel between the two.
No,
I asked you.
well,
I'll explain to you how. I'll explain to you
for the
how if
sake
you'll
of
let me. If
debate,
you let me
but-
speak. I asked you why it's not murder for a doctor to pull the plug on a brain dead patient. You said it's because in doing so they're letting nature take its course, meaning
Right.
that if they weren't connected to the life support to begin with, they would die. That's also
Correct.
true of people on like insulin and pacemakers. So if somebody hacked into my pacemaker and turned it off without my consent, and I died, that would be nature taking its course. However, you
You're
still
not
think that would be
understanding my
murder. You're
argument.
still interrupting me.
Well, because you're misconstruing my argument.
I don't understand what
I
I'm
don't
misconstruing.
appreciate
Could you be
that-
clear?
Well, because when someone gets taken off the plug and letting and nature then takes its course, usually the person that makes that decision is legally ordained or legally possesses the right to do so. If someone hacks into your pacemaker, I'm guessing that's a stranger that has bad intent to they have knowledge that'll kill you. Correct or incorrect?
Yeah, doctors have knowledge that pulling the plug in a brain.
Yeah, but the
patient will
doctor
kill them.
won't pull the plug without Dean. If let's say, God forbid, your mom's on life support, the doctor can't pull the plug without your consent or whoever is legally to make that decision.
Oh, so you're basically saying if somebody that is legally able to consent to said thing does consent to said thing, then the action of killing the life is not murder. So if
This
a woman is
specific case,
legally able,
in
so
this-
so if a woman
no.
is legally able,
See what you're doing here.
if a woman is legally able to consent to killing the fetus growing inside of her uterus in a state like Colorado where
Consistency to your
abortion is
first
legal,
point.
then it is a case that abortion's not murder.
No, well, you see, I value potential life. I value past, potential experience. I mean, I value sentience, but I value also potential sentience. And in the case of a brain dead person, I value their past experiences as well, which is why I don't value that person as someone that doesn't have life. I value them as someone.
So
that
why
does.
is it okay to kill a brain dead patient with the legal consent of a party that can consent legally, like the family, but it's not okay to kill a fetus with the legal consent of a party that can consent, such as the woman?
Okay, wait. So repeat that again. Sorry, you just cut out a little bit.
So
Hold
why
on,
is it
give me
okay to kill a brain dead patient with legal consent, but it's not okay to kill a fetus with legal consent?
Okay, so in the case of killing, like I said, yeah, nature taking its course, and in that case where the brain dead person and that family comes together to make that decision, they're just letting nature take its course. Maybe there's no foreseeable future of that person maybe recovering from that.
But I
position.
thought you
I'm
told us
pretty
that the
sure-
reason you valued the brain dead patient is because of its past experiences, and that was enough reason to
Correct.
grant the brain dead patient the right to life.
Right, for however long however long the family sees fit. Yeah, correct.
Okay, so then
I don't see
the
why-
lack of a future doesn't really matter to you because the past is enough for you to give them value.
No, well, because because a brain dead patient, I'm pretty sure, like scientifically, they can't recover from that position, right? Because their brain is
it's
dead.
irreversible cognitive cessation. So are you telling me? at the
Right,
end
so
of the
there
day
is
that
no future there.
So now you're telling me that the lack of a future is what makes it not wrong to kill them, right?
No, in that specific case of a brain dead patient, a lack of a future is what I
Okay,
would
so
be-
it's a fetus's future that makes you think it's wrong to kill the fetus?
correct. Yeah, science has to take its course, and obviously there's a process to everything. It's on its way to becoming a full blown human. So
Okay, all right. So the big
I
issue,
think the fact that
big issue
we have
with,
to get this.
the big issue with the future potentiality argument is pretty clear. Zygotes have a future like a fetus would, right? And there is forms of birth control, such as IUDs, that can kill zygotes by preventing their implantation into the uterine lining. Would you say if there's a
Okay.
woman with an IUD that knows that IUD can kill zygotes, she still yet decides to engage in intercourse, she's sexually active and the IUD does kill a zygote, that she would be culpable for murder because she killed a human with a future like
I think
ours.
murder. I think the murder argument's a little extreme. Now, I want to say, like, I don't believe that women that get abortions are murderers and should be thrown in prison.
So
but
then
I do think
abortion's not murder.
No, hold on, because I think there's some. No, hold on. Let me explain. Don't just So I think there are some things when it comes to legality, where, like, I don't think it's black and white. I don't think there's a right and a wrong. Like, if you do break the law, you go to jail. No, if you break the law, maybe there should be a reasonable punishment. I don't think if you kill a fetus or a woman, that woman should be able, to be thrown in jail. I think that maybe there should be a punishment. That's why I'm a 22-year-old.
I'm so
kid that
sorry.
just got
You said abortion's murder. Is it fair to define
No,
a
okay, so
murderer as somebody that is murdered?
I didn't say. Abortion is murder, but I don't think.
Can we define murderer?
Okay, so do you think if you kill?
No, don't
if you
answer.
kill
A question is not a definition. A question is
you
not a
kill an ant,
definition.
are you a murderer?
Boom. No, because it's not murder to kill an ant.
Why not?
The reasons why I don't think it's murder to kill an ant are not relevant to our conversation in the slightest. But if you're genuinely curious, it's because an ant would not have subjective experiences, especially in relation to those such as ours. Now, I want to be super clear here. Define murderer.
Someone who intentionally unalives a human being.
Somebody who intentionally unalives a human being. Would you define murder as the intentional unaliving of a human being?
Okay, so I think in this case of abortion,
Shut up and answer my goddamn question, Jason. Would you define murder as the intentional unaliving of a human?
I'm not gonna let you misconstrue my argument. You're not gonna tell me to shut up. I'm older than you. You little fuck.
I'm not misconstruing your argument. I'm literally asking you a question. Sit the fuck down, bro.
Dude, you're so tough, bro. You should get a haircut, number one, before you start talking all tough like that. Yeah. Number two, what do you mean?
Get a haircut before you start talking all tough. That was a good one, Jason.
No, yeah, you should. You look like an idiot, and that little pedo.
At least I don't sound like one.
Okay, sick, dude. You're saying abortion should be as easy as getting a bag of chips from a store.
And you're saying that abortion's murder, but if you abort a fetus, you're not a murderer. Holy fucking shit. Which one's worse? Honestly, I'd say that fighting for women's access to healthcare when there's absolutely no reason to infringe upon it, as per the fact that there's not a single coherent pro-life position, and the evidence would be the continual pro-lifers coming up onto this live and screaming gibberish bullshit, is significantly a more preferable view than yours of saying that if you murder somebody, you're not a murderer. Before you start talking about idiots, Jason, I'd simply ask you to refine your argument to a point where I wouldn't expect it to be coming out of the blabbly mouth of a third grader.
Okay. So I'm completely even lost where I was at. Yeah, I don't think people that get abortions should be thrown in jail. Now, my position is, I think, maybe whoever. Well, I'm letting you know what my stance is.
Okay,
it's not what you asked me.
I didn't ask you what your stance was. I asked you, what is the definition of murder?
I gave you that definition, did I not?
So did you actually? No, you didn't. Actually, no. Quite frankly, Jason, you didn't, because I asked you if you define murder as the intentional unaliving of a human, and then you asked me if I think it'd be murder to kill a fucking ant. Dude.
No. I gave you my definition, bro. I don't know if you're so fried.
Is that the definition that you gave me? Is that or is that not the definition you gave me?
I said the intentional unaliving of another human being.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, now I got to kick you for saying the word idiot. That gets you banned. Per TikTok TOS, I just gave you a flag. But, I hope you're still here, Jason, because now I'm going to just slam dunk on you, and I wish I could have done this before you got that flag. So you defined a murderer as somebody who intentionally unalives a human being, and then you defined murder as intentionally unaliving a human being. This means you think that the definition of murderer is to murder. And if you think that killing a fetus is murder, then you would say that who killed the fetus is a murderer. Duh. Let's go ahead and move on to the next guest. Hop in that queue if you support Trump, as well as, yo, Paul! Yo, dude! Thank you for the $50 over on that YT Super Chat. Holy crap, Paul. Thank you so much. If everybody watching can please show some love to Mr. Paul down below in that comment section for the $50. It'd mean the world to me, Paul. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. Thank you, Paul. You are here like every single day, and I really appreciate you so much for all the love, man. Show some love to Paul down below, you guys. Show some love to Paul down below. Paul said, heard you need a haircut. This should cover it. Funny enough, Paul, my haircuts cost exactly $50, and I actually do need one. He wasn't wrong, but of course I wasn't going to tell him that because I decided to chirp back at him instead. But thank you for the 50, Paul, as well as Feisty with the $10 saying it's male self-pleasure murder. I'm sure I could have reduced him down to that. Thank you for the 10, as well as Libby with the $10 saying an ant has more brain cells than a zygote. Quite frankly, you're actually right. Debbie with the $10 saying, Dean, you have an amazing hair. Don't get it cut, and I'm a hairstylist. It's getting a little bit long for my liking, but it doesn't look bad. It's just not my preference. Thank you for the love, Debbie. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. As well as, oh my goodness. Bro. Kiana with the $200 over on PayPal. Bro. Dude. Kiana, that is insane. Thank you so much for the love. I literally don't even know what to say. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you about 1 billion times over. If everybody watching the live right now could please show some love to Kiana down below in the chat, it would make my day. That is so insane. I do not deserve a penny of that. That is so much money. Let's get literally like 10,000 W Kianas down below in that chat. That is Kiana spelled Keanna. Thank you, 1 billion times over. They say, here's $200, split it between you and Parker. Love you, Dean. You got it, Kiana. I love you too. Thank you so much for your kindness. That is seriously so insane. Thank you. As well as Felicia, thank you for the $25 over on Venmo, saying I'll be celebrating 54 this years on Earth tomorrow, and you really keep hope alive for me. Keep on being awesome. Well, happy early birthday, Felicia. I hope you have a great birthday, and I appreciate you for being here, and thank you for the $25. As well as Sammy, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Let's get 500 Sammy W's and 250 Felicia W's. Sammy says, I'm grateful for your advocacy of women's access to healthcare against internet bullies like this guy. Oh, dude, shit on people like Jason is fun, let me tell you. And their beliefs are just insane. But thank you so much, Sammy. Thank you so much, Felicia. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Kiana. Thank you, everybody, for your kindness today. You guys have been so incredibly kind, and I'm eternally grateful. Seriously, you guys, it means the world. And welcome in, Susie. Are you MAGA?
Hi, of course, you changed your question yesterday to how I still support Trump. So I have a bit of a funny story because I made gift that was handmade as a medal for him, and I sent by office post to White House. That's what I did.
So you love Trump so much that you made a gift for him out of metal and you sent it to him?
I mean, maybe it was not out of love, probably because I thought it's gonna go viral. That's why.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something else. Yo, listen, I kicked you because I thought that you were about to say something else. Feel free to hop back in that queue. Feel free to hop back in that queue. I thought it was going to be a different kind of medal that you sent as a quote-unquote gift to the White House. I'm sure you guys are kind of like starting to pick up what I put down. And when she said it wasn't out of love, then I was like, oh, okay. I got to kick her before our live gets taken down. And she's already back. I got to say, I think I'm interested in talking to Susie for a second. Welcome back, Susie.
Hi.
Just to clarify, are you American?
Totally, you can hear by my voice or accent that I'm not.
So why do you love Trump so much?
I mean, I was watching elections for the first time in my life, straight from USA, and I got so interested by. I started to dream like crazy, and my dream was what?
Get the fuck out of here, Susie. I'm sorry. Dude, I can't. I'm not going to put up with that shit. Dude, she's having dreams about how much she loves Trump, bro. Susie, come on. Just hang out with us in the live for the next couple hours, Susie. Let me see if you could learn a thing or two about how bad this guy is, okay? What's up, Emery? You support Trump?
What's up, bro? I came on for a different reason. I wanted to let you know.
Bam!
Yeah, you're.
Moving on to the next guest. Let's go and get that next guest up here. We got I joining in. If you want to support me, by the way, and you're watching, you can find my VMIP, that Venmo and the PayPal, and the link tree in my BIO. Get 100% of all the proceeds, and they go straight to me, as well as you get a notification at the top of my phone where I can read out the amount in any and all attached messages alongside your name. So thank you guys. It means the world to me, quite frankly. As well as you can support me over on YT through the same means in the pinned comment, as well as super chats. Welcome in. Are you MAGA?
Dang, why are you a racist?
I'm not racist. What
With
time
that
is it?
haircut, brother. That fucking haircut over that fringe, bro. Sort of that. You're going bald.
Well,
I'm from
actually-
Australia and you're going bald, bro.
I'm actually not going bald. Did you know that?
Cuz, do you like Robert Bird?
Do I like Robert Bird?
Yeah, Joe Biden's the best.
The name sounds familiar. I don't know if I remember it, but I'm going to kick you because you're from Australia. Let's go and move on to the next guest since he's from Australia. We got I loading into the name. Robert Bird. Why does that name sound so familiar? All right, everyone give us a minute. What's going on? I, do you support Trump?
Oh God, no.
Base, but banned too. Moving on to the next guest. Here we go. We got McLovin loading up in the box. Hey, what's up?
Oh,
Megan?
how's it going, dude? I just wanted to say that you changed me into supporting liberal agenda.
Dude, let's go. Let's go,
And
bro.
I'm from Massachusetts, which is the number one in liberal and like democratic. It's a completely blue state. I don't know if you looked. It's like literally 99%.
I got a couple buddies that live out in Massachusetts. Great area.
It's
let's go,
dude.
man.
It's
I'm happy
it's
that your
awesome.
mind changed.
And I gotta say, man, you are a really good person. Out of the debate and stuff like that, people don't see that you're a good person. That's what I think people don't see.
Well, man, I think that's incredibly kind of you, and thank you so much for your kindness, bro. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. And dude, you're a good person as well. Like I gotta say, if you're able to go from supporting Trump to not supporting Trump and standing in opposition to that stuff, I think that you are a good person as well. So just know that I think very highly of you. I'm proud of you for making that shift in your political perspective, and I'm proud. I'm very proud. Welcome in, Ryan. What's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Nice, Ryan. What year were you born in?
I was born in 2007.
Very nice. What month?
I was born in February.
Okay. All right. February of 07. You would be 18. Now, why do you support Trump, Mr. Four-Wheeler?
I actually wanted to say, like the previous person in here, I was a heavy Trump supporter, and watching your videos have really impacted my opinion on Trump, and it shifted my ways from a Republican standpoint to more of a Democratic standpoint to show that not only that Trump isn't a right president or fit to be president, but like that he's just a terrible person. And judging by the facts that you've given in multiple videos, I've seen that, and I just want to say thank you.
I made sure to let you finish. I got to remove you because it says you're 17 in your bio, but I'm really proud of you as well, Ryan. It really puts a smile on my face. It puts such a big smile on my face hearing from younger men, that are now making the right shift in what they believe in and why. I'm really proud of you, bro. I'm really proud of you, Ryan. I'm really proud of that last guy too. We need more younger men like you, Ryan. We need more younger men like the guest before, Ryan. It is such an imperative. It is such an imperative. I'm proud, bro. I'm really proud. Now, listen. For the 9.3 thousand people in here, as you guys know, every single day we got to hit a restart or two. And we are already at that time for this live. I'm going to give you guys the instructions on how to come back into the live following the restart. This is just something we got to do for the health and safety of the live. We're still going to be on for another 2.5 hours, so we're going to be on for a while. First and foremost, hit that follow button, top left-hand corner, right there. That is the way that you could very easily come back after the restart. That is the easiest way to come back after the restart, is just by hitting that follow button, because then you'll be able to find me on your following list. But so hit that follow button right now if you want to come back. Here are the more complicated instructions on how to come back even quicker. So when the live ends, you will see something that looks like this pop up on your phone screen. It'll say that the live has ended, and it will show you my profile picture. If you click on that profile picture, it will direct you to my account page. And then once you're on my account page, I want you to count to 10, pull down on the videos, refresh the account page, and then click in off of that profile picture again. And then you'll be in the new live. That's how to do it. I aim for around 70 to 80% retention rate. So if we could please have like 7.5 thousand of you guys come back, it would just make my day. And if you're thinking about not coming back, please come back. It would seriously, it'd be awesome. But let's go and do that restart now. The restarts literally take 4 seconds. So I'm going to count down from 10.